All right, good morning, guys. Monday, December 28th. So, last week of 2020, what a year it's been. Let's get jumping in, guys. So, heading into this week's trading, I think one of the most interesting setups we got is, of course, the daily squeeze here on the S&P 500 index, which this morning is looking really solid. Now, I know a lot of folks are looking for that Santa Claus rally. It's cool to have that idea, but I think when you have a setup that can back that idea, maybe you're working with something. So, heading into today's session and the rest of the week, this will be a focus in mine. You can see the futures are tapping an all-time high here this morning, but the structure of the squeeze is really solid. We have our stacked moving averages. It looks like this morning a little bit of bullish momentum is hitting our histogram. And also remember, guys, it's not just the daily squeeze here. We're still in the process of firing this weekly squeeze. So our big time frame, the weekly, is looking nice and bullish. We've taken a little bit of, call it a break in the action here on the daily chart. Potentially, this energy from the daily squeeze begins to get released, and we see the market make a nice leg to the upside. And the Qs are no different. A very solid daily squeeze. We got our stacked moving averages. Again, just like the SPY, a little bit of bullish momentum hitting the histogram this morning. And from a weekly chart basis, we're still in the process of trying to fire a weekly squeeze. So, as far as the structure goes of the weekly charts and the daily charts on the indexes, they certainly look solid, and they do look poised for a potential move to the upside. But of course, market's going to do what the market wants to do, and anything is possible. So one thing that I'm a big fan of doing in the morning, I do this every morning in the focus trades group. I'll be doing it every morning with y'all in the simpler trading group, is looking for lower time frame squeezes on the indexes. This morning, we have a good looking 30-minute squeeze for both of the indexes here on the futures. So the reason I like finding a squeeze heading into the open is it can make it a little bit easier for us to try to gauge that early morning direction. If we continue to chop back and forth in this 30-minute squeeze, there's probably not much happening. If the squeeze fires to the upside, there's a probability we get a nice push higher. If the squeeze fires to the downside, vice versa. So coming into this morning session, we got the Qs in a good looking 30-minute squeeze, and then the same old squeeze over here for the SPY, a good looking 30. So of course there's 2.5 hours before the open, so these squeezes could kind of fire, they can continue to chop, but nonetheless, I think it makes our jobs a little bit easier of trying to gauge that early morning direction and potential momentum when we got those lower time frame squeezes. So heading into this week, guys, I've got nothing but long positions, which, I don't hate. I love the positions I have kind of slowly but surely working into some of these weekly squeezes. Amazon, Nvidia, I'm looking for Microsoft, I'm looking at AMD, I'm looking at a few others here, but nonetheless, all my positions are to the upside. So in the event the market doesn't just continue to rally higher and higher, and maybe we don't get that Santa Claus rally, I do want to look for opportunities to get some short positions on, not because I'm bearish on the market, but because I do want to call it a little bit of a hedge. So over the weekend and a little bit last week, both John Carter and Henry Gamble from the Simpler Gang, they were doing some pretty good analysis here, guys, on the transports. Now, more often than not, when the market, is beginning a nice little pullback, a multi-day sell-off, a lot of that initial weakness can be found here in the transports. Again, we can take an idea, but we can back that idea up with a good structure, with a good setup. So when we're looking here, guys, at IYT, the transportation sector ETF, we got a good looking daily squeeze, but if you notice the shift in momentum here, it's definitely start to turn a little bit bearish. And I think big reason being is that some of the components of the transports, for example, like a FedEx here, are looking really damn ugly. So if we look at the structure here of this squeeze for FedEx, no stacked moving averages. We're pushing underneath the moving averages, the 21 and the 8, both of which are now pointing to the downside. And if you look at the momentum here, we're firing a squeeze to the downside. So while I do think over the next few months the market, is certainly set to continue to go higher, is I'm looking here at the transports, guys. If we do need a little bit of, call it short exposure to hedge the accounts, I think there's something to work with here. So keep an eye on things like FedEx, keep an eye on things like UPS and Boeing. But I do think a call credit spread for the first expiration in January isn't a terrible idea if the market does start to show signs of weakness. All right, the video got cut off, but as I was saying, guys, does not mean I'm going to take a short position on the transports or FedEx or anything of that nature. Just is the market is looking kind of gearing up here for a move to the upside. I think it's always good to kind of go through the charts sector to sector and look at a couple that might present an easy opportunity to the downside just based on the structure of the charts, based on, the momentum on our histogram. if the market should show signs of weakness. So with all that being said, by all means, like the rest of y'all, I will be looking for, call it the Santa Claus rally here over the next couple of days. That's just based on nothing but the structure of these daily charts. So the market going to do what she wants to do, but I wish you guys the best of luck. I'll keep y'all posted on my positions in Amazon, Nvidia, and Snow. Certainly going to be keeping an eye here on my watch list items, which are AMD, Microsoft, Netflix, etc. But I will keep you guys posted. I wish y'all the best of luck here on this short market week. The market is closed on Friday, so trade smart. I'll see you guys soon. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe.